shelf, the old 3-speed waits. All is reverse, humming through rusted gates. I roll the top out, the sunlight streams. A workshop hymn for forgotten dreams. Turn the wrench, feel the grind, beat blast the past, leave no part behind. Measure each tooth, each bearing, each gear, and bring the road back, make the legend reappear.
Well, hello, my name is Ralph and welcome back to the channel. It's my time, let's go. Today we got something a little bit different here, and you know, you never know what fate brings you or what comes your way. Today I've agreed to work on this little project here to help somebody out with a desire they have to make things the way they want. I believe this is going to be for a sidecar, I think. And I've had this arrive, and so we're going to open it up and have a look in here and just see what's going on in the box. A little container to keep all my screws in so that I can put them back in it when it's time to go back.
Do you remember when we first met? I thought my eyes would fall straight out of my head. Guess we are living proof of love at first sight. But now we both see love in a different light. Keeping love alive is a tricky thing.
I love it when I get things that are well packaged. I can't begin to tell you how many times I got packages come up from the US and stuff on eBay, and they're in a big box and they just throw the parts in there. They all rattle around. By the time it gets up here, they're beat out through the side of the box, pieces are missing. I don't know why people don't take the time to you know, wrap them up good. Imagine that if you were sending it, you were waiting for something to come in, how would you want to have it? You would want to have it packaged extremely well, and I get a lot of compliments. Pauline does it. She does a lot of the packaging for me to put things together. And I get a lot of compliments for guys say, oh wow, you know, that was packaged really well. So I really appreciate it when something comes to me and it's packaged nicely. All right, see what we got. Just like Christmas. All right. Get things down in there. That's pretty impressive. Check that out. So you can see that it's strapped down in there, and everything is even tie wrapped together. What a job. What a great job. Kudos to you. Very nice. Very nice. Push rod. Take this out of here. What do we got in here? Even send me some assembly lube. Thank you very much. I got lots, but it's nice to see. Now, I don't think I can get down in here with these. I might be able to. Actually, probably leave those in there. Everything else clear. Good, sir. There we go. All right. Should be an interesting project. So we'll take it over to the bench. So we'll get some nuts on here, get this mounted to our plate. Just makes it easier to put it in the vise and hang on to it while we disassemble it. See what we're into. Okay. There we go. Okay, now I need to get an Allen for the top side, and we'll start disassembling these. I can see by the numbers on it, they're ending in a 65 number, same as on the bottom of the transmission. So it's telling me it's 1965 transmission and it's one with the ears on it. Like the earlier 3-speeds didn't have these big ears to bolt the primaries on. So, but it's nice to see a match set like that. I always like to see if these are snug or not before with a small Allen wrench. Oh, and he's got them loosened for me. Good man. Well, I gotta say, John, thank you very much for cleaning this up before you send it to me. I'm so used to getting things that are a mess, to say the least. We will blast them and clean some things up here, but it's a real pleasure to go to work on something that's not all greasy and grimy, and what a change, what a change. Oh, we get these off. Oh yeah, I can see my reverse gear down in there. Cool. Very cool. So lock it in 2 gears here and get this transmission sprocket nut off. Got it locked up in there. That seized on there. Just gotta go gently. Don't be in a big hurry. It will come off. But it's rusted. Rusted right on. Don't want to ruin the threads on the 4th gear. Alright, it'll take time to get that off. Really just need to get it cleaned out here so I can get at the screw. Alright, she's got the old original style Speedo drive on it as well, so we'll pull that out. Keep a little cam with all our stuff. This little screw keeps our locking shaft, a little lock for our shift shaft. Very important. Oh, that in our box of goodies. And we're probably gonna have to pull that cover off in order to get the shaft to move. Nice and clean. Actuator looks good in there. Set that aside. It's our old style throwout bearing instead of the newer type that has double washers with a needle bearing in between. Very robust and tough. Now we've got half a kicker gear on here. So I'm not sure exactly what his intentions are there. Okay. Now I should be able to stick a little pin through there. I got one somewhere. Got our little thing here with just a bit the end turned down off of it. Go right in there to that is in there. Yeah. That's not wanting to do it, is it? Well, that's not wanting to move. Not an inkling. Not a bit. Not a bit. Let's see if I can give it a tap on this side. Let's move it a little bit. Can't go in too far. Throw that punch in there a little bit. There we go. Just takes a little patience. Sometimes things are seized in there. Try to get some of the crud off that shaft so that it'll slide through the shift forks. Okay, and now we're going to pull our shift forks out, paying attention to the positioning of them because they are different and they only go in one way. And we also note that the nuts are on the outside of the shift forks. So these nuts are on the outside when they're in there, so we don't want to put them in by mistake that way. And this one is quite different. They got normal, a little bit of wear on the end of them there, but they look quite good actually. There's no need to be replacing those. Get the locks off of our nuts here. Right, now I get a socket for that. Socket on here. And our lock washer off of there. Alright, it's loose. Let's see if we can give the counter shaft a little tap there. And now we can take our piece out. A little dirt on that one, John. Everything will be washed anyway. Grab a hold of this. Makes it a little easier to try and lift out. There you go. Yeah, the countershaft gear has needle bearings in it inside of there. So we have to make sure that they're not hanging it up. They seem to be. It's okay on that side. It's really hard to see on this side, but I can see that some of the needle bearings are in the hole here. So we've just got to try to push them all back in there. They don't interfere with us trying to lift them out. Have to get the gear spacer out as well in order to come up. The counter shaft has to move over this way, and of course it won't move over because of the spacer in there. So until we can get the spacer free, we get a couple little picks. Now, most of the transmissions in later years didn't have this thickness of a support on here, so the countershaft would come in and out easily. But on some of these earlier ones, with the needle bearings, they don't want to. So let's see if I can fish that out. Almost. It's going to be very, very trying to get out of there. It's going to be very hard. So I'm going to have to fool with that and try to get that out of there. Try a couple different things and see if I can move it. So we've managed to just take a little piece of wire and put a loop in it like that, and I've been able to fish down in behind it and pull this up to one side in here, in which I've got it right up to this side, and I can see the holes in it. And I'll try to get a hook on it. And there we go. Now we've got the spacer plate out. It's a little tricky, a little time consuming, but that's what it takes. Now we should be able to just slide the cluster over to the left now that we have the spacer out and lift it right out. Here we are. Set that aside for now, and all the needle bearings are gonna fall out of it. Like I say, inside here you can see that there's a row of needle bearings in there when the later ones have pressed in bearings. So we'll have to, you know, pay attention to the size and the shaft. Make sure that they're sized properly for the countershaft. We'll also look down in here and see if we've lost any, and we haven't. And the bosses look to be in great shape that the needle bearings go into. Should need to be cleaned out, but they're nice and snug in the case, as they should be. So we're looking good. At this point, we can give you a little shot inside so that you can see the reverse gear setup down in here. And you can see the reverse gear down in here. This is your reverse gear assembly, and it's on a small pivot shaft through there. That's what makes it change direction when that's engaged. And we'll have to pay attention when we go to take it out. Same thing, we'll have to drive the main shaft out enough that we can get in behind this gear here and get the clips off the inside, and we can continue driving the gear out. The countershaft doesn't look bad. There's a couple little marks in it there just where it's sitting inside of the gear housing, or the housing for the needle bearings. I didn't think you had them loosened up, no. Impact driver out. Loosen those up. Nope. That one's still tight. Can't quite get at it from there. Just gotta switch around over here, get a better hit on it. There we go. There. All right. So now that we've got everything loosened up in there, we should just be able to give this a couple taps. Now we have to get the C-clip off. There is a spacer washer in there, which has got quite a bit of play in it. I'd like to get in there and show you, but it's pretty hard to get a shot of it. We have to break that C-clip loose and move it out over. So So very hard to see in there. And we're pried out enough to distort it. Pop back in there. There we go. And we've got it off. We've ground this little tool off here, and I don't know whether you can see it, but there's a sort of done to a that won't help staring in your eyes. So it's sort of ground down so there's a small flat spot, and with that I can get in and get it under the C-clip between the gear spaces and pop it up so that I can then move it outward, which we're into there now. And you can see that this is the small C-clip that we're talking about there. This clip right here, and it's in there. It's in there on the face of it, and there's still a little washer in there that'll slide out, but that's where you have to reach in there to try to get it out. It can be very trying to say the least. But once with that released, we can slide the gear over. Now because we have the reverse gear in there, there's no way to slide the transmission out. Like you'd think that the gear teeth on the cluster here would fit between the teeth and come out. Not happening. And it's in there on a shaft, and the shaft is out this side. In order to get it out, what we have to do is thread a 1/4 inch 20, which is a standard type of thread, into the small piece in there. Now it's hard to get in there because half of it is chopped off, and you've got like half thread sticking out about that far, and try to get it into place. But you just take your time, and you finally get the thing started. Thread it in there, so we've got some threads onto it, and it will turn a little bit, and then we should be able to slide it right out. We're just going to grab the end of our bolt, get a good bite on it, and we should be able to pull that pivot pin right out like that. It's not in there hard, so and just slide it out. So there you can see the end of it, how it's shaved down, half of it. So it's a little bit tricky to get it started in there, but you can get it out. So we'll just set that one aside. And now we should be able to pick our reverse gear out. You can see our little gear in there. And I've just got a little piece like this with a hook where I can get around the top of the gear, feed it back in there like that, and I'm able to move the gear out, and I can just grab it here and lift it right out. Now with that gear out of place, I should be able to just push the shaft right out. Slide our gear on there. There is a spacer washer, supposed to be, there it is. That's what we need. Make sure that's in place so we don't lose it. Although that one seemed pretty slack, so I'm probably going to have to set it up with something a little bit wider than that. I do have a selection of them, so we'll see what we can do there. And our shifter clutch, that looks to be in good shape as well. Now, fourth gear, and again, that's all on needle bearings in there. So they're gonna all fall out, of course. We'll try to fish those out of the case. Although we'll be putting new ones in, but they've got to come out anyway. And the race looks nice in there, nice and smooth. So I don't think this transmission's been abused. As it is with most of the 3-speeds. I suppose some had a hard life, but you know, a lot of others really didn't get a lot of use, and so they're generally in not too bad a shape. And we have to pop this out. There we go. And that's out. And we only need the center piece of this. And these spacers here have a little cutout on these, and there's a small key that fits in there on the main shaft and locks this piece so it'll rotate around. They're just a very, can't really show you. They're a little tiny key like that, kind of an L-shaped thing, and it goes into the shaft and locks into this as well, like that. So when they're together, it locks that together. Looking good, looking good, looking good. This one goes in there, but we'll be putting all new bearings in there anyway. But I do want to measure them up and see whether they were standard or not. But I must say the race looks pretty good in there. But we'll probably run our hone through that, our arbor, just to clean that up. But like I say, I'll take a measurement first to see where we're at, because we certainly don't want to make it any bigger than it should be. You know, perhaps this was a part before and honed out, so we got to be very careful that we just don't go at it without pre-measuring some things to make sure. But in any case, we are stripped down. Get as much dirt off it as we can, and then blow it out before I put it in the glass beater. And we'll put screws in all of these small screw places to make sure that we don't get glass bead captured in there. So I'm going to go along and clean the gaskets off the top, then put the screws in these things, especially the blind holes. The through holes aren't so bad, you can blow them up, but the blind holes, we don't want them to fill up with glass bead. So we're going to do that and get it over in the cabinet and clean it up, and then we'll come back. So now we've gone along, we've plugged all the holes with the small bolts and put them in the threaded ones, especially the blind holes. And down inside here, there's a hole in the casting that's always there beside this area. And we've taken a piece of clay and just put that down in there and stuck it in there for the time being to keep sand and stuff from, or glass bead from going out. Little holes like this, a little speedo hole. All of these ones inside of here, everywhere we felt we needed them, we've put them in. And I do have a stud missing here. I'll have to dig around and find that, put a stud in here. So we're gonna take it over and we're gonna glass bead it. I'm gonna mask off the top and we're gonna glass bead the top and get everything clean and ready and prepared for assembly. And then we'll go through our parts and see what we got. I know fourth gear, we gotta put a bushing in it. I gotta have a good look at the main shaft to see what kind of shape it's in and might get out. And we'll take it from there. A lot cleaner, a lot nicer to work with. Now she's ready to be washed out, scrubbed out, and go back together. So if you enjoyed this video today, like, subscribe, comment, ring the bell, do those kind of things. It helps us to grow. Working on these old bikes is one of the pleasures that I have throughout the years, and seeing them come back to life and be saved for future generations is part of my intention, as you all know. This little transmission here, you know, a gentleman approached me and had no one in his area to do it for him, and unfortunately, like a lot of some of his friends have passed on, and it's hard to find somebody to work on him. So I felt pretty honored that he contacted me to help him out with his plan. You can see obviously from a few pictures that he sent me and stuff, it got me intrigued that he's really taken it upon himself to get these parts cleaned, organized, and put together as a nice machine. So I'm proud and happy to be able to contribute to this project. Being as that we're in the new year, we're going to be trying some different stuff this year. A little bit with the intros, we got a little bit of AI stuff happening. That all contributes to making the viewing experience hopefully more enjoyable. Thank you very much for many of you out there that get comments on the music and such. I take quite a bit of time putting that in there, and it's nice to see that other people appreciate that in there, and it kind of just makes it all go along nice and smooth, and I enjoy it as well. Shout out to Silver Nuts Garage. You boys check them out. They got a beautiful decker there that they just got built, orange and black, and it's I love the sweeping paint down off the back of the saddlebags. Kind of gives it an aggressive stance just sitting there. So check these guys out. They're out there doing this thing as we all are, and I'm sure you'll enjoy their content as well. And that's what it's all about. YouTube's about having a good time, not just to hopefully entertain you people out there, which I try to do each week, but to share knowledge and to share different things. We all go to YouTube to figure out what we want to see, how to fix something, and I'm just happy to be a part of it these days and be a content creator, if you can imagine that. Who'd have thought that? You never know what trials and turns your life takes in different sort of things, and I never thought for a minute that I'd be a content creator on YouTube, but hey, we all do different things through life, and that's what keeps it interesting. So with that being said, I'd like you to also remember to check out my brothers down south, Hippie at Hippie's Chopper Corner, and Slick at Slick Ed's Custom Cycles. They both got a lot of things on the go. Hip down there, man, you've got so many different things on the go. I don't know how you're gonna keep track. You just seem to getting more and more and more all the time. This is going there, that's going there. But you're having fun doing it, and that's the main thing. Slick, I guess you're into the snow now down there. You must be, and weather's cold, and unfortunately we can't get out and ride like we'd like to, but I'm looking forward to seeing what you get on your plate this winter and what sort of things that you're working for. And I look forward to you help me out with this transmission here, so I'm looking for a gear that I can't source out up here, and you know, I've texted down to you there to see if you can maybe go over to Nick's or something and find me what I need. I appreciate your help from both of you. So check these guys out. Hippie's Chopper Corner, Slick Ed's Custom Cycles. So that's it for this week. I had intentions of going and doing some filming today at a friend of mine's, but we're in the middle of the storm here in the Great White North, and things are kind of moving around on the glacier today, so I think we're going to sit tight and not go anywhere and plan it for another day. So I'll see you, Josh, on sometime this weekend, and get some shots of you running the dyno there, and just yak on some things. I haven't really seen you since the last time you were down. Geez, way over a year now that you were helping me out on the Black Pearl there when I thought I had electrical problems. So I'm looking forward to seeing you next week, and I'll be showing y'all what I get to see in the upcoming weeks. So stick with us as we move along with this 3-speed training. We get it all together for John there, and hopefully contribute to his project. And we'll be on to other things as well. So we'll see you next week.